Welcome back, everybody. New project, unintended project, kind of snuck up on me. After a few nights of ferocious brush hogging, this is what we end up with. The blades and the stump jumper, stump hopper, whatever the hell you call it, the anvil, I don't know, whatever the hell that round thing is called. It done broke right off the shaft on the gearbox, so it's got to be fixed. I'd rather not buy another brush hog. I'd rather fix it for free. But as I look closely, I notice there's all kinds of stress cracks all throughout this thing. Maybe I should buy a new one. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. Oh boy. Look at that. That little piece is loose there. That's all cracked up there. The whole center of that thing is cracked up. Another crack there where the blade attaches. That one don't look too healthy. Crack starting to form there. Crack there. Oh man, thing's got more cracks than crack house. So, believe it or not, I'm gonna try and fix this thing. So I'm gonna load it up on the tractor and bring it over and start grinding out some of those cracks. With trying to save as many pieces as possible, like that little guy there that's ready to go away. I don't know, it just seems kind of a silly design. You'd think that being this here 5-foot brush hog was all heavy duty and everything, made back in the time of heavy duty, either 80s or 90s or whatever. I would expect more than just, what is that, like 3/16, maybe eighth and inch? I don't know. I'm gonna have to throw a measuring apparatus on there and find out how thick that is. You'd think that'd be like at least 1/4 inch, something like that. I mean, granted it's rusty, but you can tell that, you look in there and that's just not that thick. What the hell are these people thinking? I don't know. Some things Deere gets right, other things they don't. But when it's time for the deer to run away, it runs pretty quick in the wrong direction. Alright, so I'll get this loaded up here. Watch my fingers, make sure that they don't get yanked off. Alright, so I'm going to cart that over and start grinding out on these cracks. And I'm probably just going to MIG all this. Right now, my strategy for fixing this was to flip that over upside down and then kind of use the structure itself as a table. And then I was gonna get all sneaky and put washers all around this and layer them up until the center matched up on the spindle, on the shaft, and get everything all plumb as best as possible until it was time to look at this thing and it's like there ain't a straight line on it. So yeah, what I think I'm gonna do now at this point is I'm still gonna do the washer idea, but I might use these surfaces here. They're not exactly flat, but I don't know, those bolts, trying to think if those bolts would be kind of like dimensional, so to speak, because they're a known length from the factory, and they don't look like they've been beat up on too badly. You gotta watch the camera, not real life. See where I'm pointing this thing. I don't know. My plan is to fix this thing, repair it, throw it back on the tractor, go up in the field, turn it on, see what happens. In a part of the field that's away from everything, so that when it grenades, nobody dies. All right, let's get to her. All right, so it's actually a few days later. I meant to start working on that the other night, and then a whole bunch of stuff came up and I got sidetracked. So here we are. I think what I'm going to start with is this piece here that's kind of dancing around, and I'm first going to immobilize that so that I can, get around on it and grind real heavy on it. So I'm going to kind of get that into position where it feels where it belongs. I got to make a nice happy spot for the ground clamp and get welding. So I got to do all this in here, all these cracks here, the cracks around the sides. That looks a little weak right there, so I'm going to just build that up. Looks like it's just that side there, so let's go and get her done. Alright, so that's just to get some tack welds in there and keep that thing from moving so that I can be more aggressive with the surface prep. So we're gonna turn on the welding apparatus. Gotta get my special little hat on. Alright, we are running 030 wire out of a Hobart MIG with shielding gas. I have no idea what the amperage is set to. I'm actually the voltage is set to 3, whatever that means on the machine. It's just like 1 through 7, so there's no like scientific number to it. Suppose I could hook up a current meter or something in there and find out what it actually is putting out, but about 50 on the wire and 3 on the voltage. See how that goes. Alright, that looks good. So we will continue grinding away. And this is just a run-of-the-mill flap disc, sanding disc or whatever, flapper wheel. Apparently when you step on the cord, it don't want to keep running. So normally I don't have to worry about dust because I would have these doors on the barn open and there's quite a bit of wind coming off of Lake Ontario. So we're on the hill near Holland Patton and we just get the wind constantly. But the sun happens to be staring us down right now, so I got the doors shut because of that. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to see. And I can't find any kind of fan for the life of me, so we'll just use the old compressed air to get rid of that. But so far so good. I got some of these cracks more visible and cleaned up, we'll say. I mean, it ain't perfect, but you know, this thing's pockmarked and pitted, and you know, it looks like the surface of the moon. So we're just gonna set the voltage extra high on the welder and just burn through all the crud, right? That's how that works. Sure. So I think I don't know, I'll just start in there and just kind of go all around and see what we get. Once I'm done welding this, then I have to focus on the inner rings here. And basically my plan is to still flip this upside down. So, you know, once it's on, we'll bring the brush hog in here on the pallet forks and flip it upside down. Keep this side, this would be, you know, the side closest to the mower, the way it is. I mean, I may dress this up a little bit with the grinder to remove some of the burrs and stuff like that. To kind of get that to go back to where it was, clocking wise or timing wise, with the idea that, you know, with as little bit of play as possible on this particular, you know, ring area, to try and center this, there went a Hillbilly Deluxe. To try and center this stump jumper assembly on the spindle so that when you flip the PTO switch and she starts spinning it don't go like this and you know, prematurely wreck the bearings in the gearbox. Yeah, this is all best effort. I mean, technically, you know, if I had the money, I'd just say buy a new one because this kind of sketchy as all hell and everything. So but I want to just kind of get this thing fixed and back up and running because I got a bunch of mowing to do for myself and my neighbor. We'll just make sure nobody's standing around when that happens. All right, back to that. I'll actually wear gloves this time because we're gonna get a little hotter. So we're gonna turn the voltage up to 4. Like I said, whatever that means. Come on, ground clamp. Don't be like that. Did it get you? Better see if we're still lined up. Oh yeah, good enough. What in the hell is that? That sounds like the sprout. Got some crud on the tip. Gotta clean that off. A little hot. I gotta be careful because I kind of got a hole in my glove there, so I gotta, you know, not touch the hot metal. Holding my breath in there so I'm not breathing all that shit in. Good enough for government work. Oh, so there must be some grass or something inside there that's burning, because it does smell like burning grass. We'll let that go. It looks good from this side. I am going to flip this over and get the other side as well. If I could only held my breath a few seconds longer. Oh well, good enough. So that sputtering you're hearing, where it's not just sizzle sizzle, that is the terrible surface prep. You know, like I said, this thing's up and down and in and out and everything, and the flapper wheels can only get so much, and I'm not going to remove so much material that I get down everything perfect. So I'm just going to, you know, include the rust and whatever in the weld, and hopefully it will self-identify as weld in the end. Yeah, that's unhappy again. Need a more appropriate tool. There we go. How does it look from your angle? Pretty good. There looks okay, that looks good, sure, why not? Well, I went down along the sides on all three of these. I may as well do it on that one too, but I never prep that. Prep it for whatever it's good, or whatever it's worth, or you know what I mean. That's just annoying. What? Oh, well, you know, that'll do it. The thing came out of there. Wonderful. Well, it was working. I need this thing to work right now, so let's see if we can keep it working long enough to finish the job. Maybe? Nothing but the best from Harbor Freight, I tell you. I mean, that's... Here, let me make sure I'm getting this in there good for you. That's quality right there. I mean... you know, you step on it enough times and you'll have that. So now I gotta pull this out of there without zapping myself. That would be... Yeah, that would be the hot, wouldn't it? Alright, well, I'm not grounded apparently, so yeah, because I think the neutral's the bigger one. I have to throw a new end on that machine. And in the meantime, I'm going to have to find the other grinder that's around here somewhere and get the flapper wheel on it. Alright, flip this over. Let's see what we got on the other side. Alright, so got some good heat in there. There's indicators all around, so hopefully now that I burn through from this side, you know, everything will homogenize and be happy. That's the theory anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give this some surface prep. Air quotes, surface prep. Alright, so I'll zap these. I think while I'm here, I've got these blades easy to get at. I'm actually going to add some material here and maybe try to put another, grind a new edge on there. These are both kind of at the point where they should be replaced, but we're going to rehabilitate. Maybe these blades will learn how to knit and crochet. And I'm going to turn down the wire speed a little bit. Oh, I forgot the ground clamp. Where the hell did it? You know what? There, that's where the hell. Come on now. Alright, what's the deal? Does it get loose? That ain't loose. Is the ground clamp just being retarded? Try not to send my MIG wire flying all over the place. The little scraps that I cut off, they end up in tires if you just let them go wild. Alright, what gives? I mean, it's not a terrible grind job, although it does look kind of sketchy. Oh yeah. Come on, get her. sure, whatever. That's all angry again. I hear something. Oh. I don't know if you can see that steam right there, but apparently we've got some water inside the thing, and it's boiling off. I can hear it boiling. It sounded like a horse going down the road at first. Good enough. Okay. I'm hoping these are bare enough since I was just mowing with it, so I shouldn't have to, you know, grind a fresh spot with the ground wire. Except now that's gonna mess with me. Just clean the whole thing anyway. So basically what's going on here is there's some slag building up. You know, it sputters off of the work and out of the weld, and it sticks on this when it's molten, and then it's arcing between here and the gas shroud, which is what we don't want. It's when the machine starts to kind of make a rumbling sound, and you'll actually feel it in the gun too. The wire will hesitate when it's arcing in here, and it'll make the machine, you know, push harder on the wire, and just not good stuff. So now the big question is, are these supposed to be square at the end? I think I'll make them square. fell on my shoe, which could have been my foot. That would have been no fun. No fun at all. It's a little hot, a little bit. But it is necessary. What the hell's going on? That's making noise. This is acting strange. Come on, a little bit further. Alright, we're getting a little odd here, so I think we're gonna take a break. Welder's misbehaving. Getting big old globs on there, so maybe that's the welding gods telling me to cool it for a minute or two. That's good and tight. Nozzle looks okay for the most part. Alright, we'll try that. Much more gooder. Square enough. It's not like this mower is the epitome of precision anyway. little hot. There's another big goober on there. But I saw how that one was created. Basically, I got the tip too close to the puddle and got a little dabble of molten metal on there, and you know, fouled up the works. Move this over here so I can get my elbow on here, get more a little more steady. Come on now. Good enough. Alright, now to do this right, I gotta flip this over, do the other side of the blade, then it'll be ready for some grinding. I just gotta make sure not to, you know, burn anything with those big, heavy, hot pieces of metal. that's still in view or not. Make sure that you can see what's going on here. Holy moly, an hour already? Jeez. Where the hell did the thing go? Oh, there it is. That thing, the clampy thing. Sure. That looks good. Now we just gotta fish the other one out there. Oh no. Make sure it's still in view of the audience. Yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna do a quick burn along the edge like on that one because there's quite a bit of material there. I didn't really get set up in a good position there. Good enough. Alright, I turn the bottle off. I turn the bottle off again later. I turn the bottle off again before I go to bed because one time I forgot to turn the bottle off and somehow the gun activated and it all leaked out. And we get a new bottle. So now I make sure to turn the bottle off. Let's take you for a ride. Do a little inspection. So, focus. We'll see how this does for an edge. We're gonna grind on that. I may add a little bit more to tip there to kind of square that up. I don't know, we'll see. See how this one looks. Yeah, they're very similar. I don't know, we'll see how they do. In here, so we got all those cracks. Focus. We got those welded in. Some of these welds are better than others. But, you know, what do you want for a Sunday night? On the outside here, we got the same deal going on. Yeah, so next steps, part 2 of this here adventure. Oh, a little burnt grass. We're gonna keep this upper, stay focused. We're gonna keep this upper hole pretty close to the way it is. We're gonna use that one to index the whole shebang. on the spindle. We're gonna waller out the bottom here hole, because there's like 2 pieces of plate here that are kind of like they got a spacer in between them to give them about some distance. The outer one, we're gonna waller that out, cut it out, probably with plasma cutter, I imagine. I don't want to screw around with the freaking abrasive wheel blade cutter disc thing. That'll just be forever, and I'll waste the disc and make a lot of dust and get cancer. So I'm gonna make this hole down here bigger. The idea is I'm gonna get this back on the spindle, try to level this thing somehow on the spindle, and then I'm gonna stick weld this back together, this side. I'm gonna make this big enough just to get a rod through there and stick weld this back together. Then the top side I'm gonna MIG back together, because it's a lot easier to kind of, you know, lay down layers of weld and, you know, get a lot more volume flowing. And then that top one, you know, technically the bottom, but, you know, whatever. It'll be upside down when that time comes. I'm gonna weld the hell out of that one. You know, I'm gonna blend it and feather it in real good and thick to try and keep this thing from separating again. Although I tell you, after looking at this, you can see where, you know, there's some rust here and there, especially down at the bottom there. Old rust. So it was broke for a while and just kept running the thing. You know, pick the thing up, lift it up in the air somehow, and get your eyeballs on it and see what's going on under there, because obviously these things wear out. And unless you take the whole damn brush hog, flip it over, and, you know, PM it, preventative maintenance, you're not gonna know. I don't know how often these things fly apart, you know, out there in the world. But I got lucky when it did, that it just stayed within the body of the mower. It didn't go flying off and decapitate someone. So we'll see how this goes. There's going to be a part 2. Because, you know, now I got to, you know, flip the mower over, get this up in there. I got to figure out exactly how I'm going to try and level this and you know, plumb it up. So I got to do a little bit of brainstorming on that. And it's going to take me some time to edit this here footage. To try and make it less than 1,000,000 years in duration. So we'll see you next time. And in the meantime, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and, you know, give the Sprout some happy feelings, because she works really hard. All right, have a good one.